Talk, shop, pop, movies.
Ahoy there, this is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile, and if you're a convicted cinephile yourself, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel down below. On my channel, I like to talk, shop, and pop open, that is, movies and physical media. And today, they have revealed the BAFTA long lists in 24 categories. So the nominees for those specific categories can only come out of these lists. So you can't just nominate whoever you want for Best Actor. It's got to be one of these, I believe, usually 10 or 20 people. They have it narrowed down to. We'll see when we get there. But I'm going to skip the short categories. No offense to those who love the shorts. I just don't know anything about them. And it would just be me reading names and wasting an extra 5 minutes. Not to mention the editing time. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and skip to those. It looks like there are 10 long listed names here for the sound category. Those films are Barbie, Ferrari, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Wonka. That's kind of a surprising one. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but it just seems surprising. And The Zone of Interest. So The Zone of Interest made it into sound. That is awesome. I hear the sound design and that is amazing. Once again, no Spider-Man. That missed at the Oscars as well, so I guess that's just missing sound. Whatever. It sucks. I think the sound work in that is great. A lot of people had issues with it when it was released, but I thought it was fantastic. But good list. Wonka is really the only thing there that I'm like, oh, really? Everything else makes sense. Barbie, I get, but it seems like a more just because it's so popular overall, it got into here sort of a thing. But every single other thing makes sense. It's music related, war related, big explosion related, you know. I suppose Wonka's a musical, so maybe that's how it got in there. No Color Purple on here either. That's been getting the shaft of many a things, and a musical missing in sound is always a bad sign. So the fact that Wonka got in over Color Purple, not the best sign in the world. On to special visual effects. We have Barbie, The Creator, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Mission Impossible, Napoleon, Oppenheimer. See, Oppenheimer got in here, but not at the Oscars, so that's cool. Poor Things, Spider-Man, yes, and Wonka again. Wonka's going to sweep the BAFTA. You heard it here first. So I'm happy Spider-Man got in here too. That is awesome. I like that Oppenheimer got in here. I think it deserves the nomination at least. There is no Godzilla here, which isn't surprising to me, really. What else is missing? I got to compare the two at some point and see what's different between the two lists. But most of these are the same from what I remember. I wouldn't be surprised if Oppenheimer won at the Critics' Choice and it won here for visual effects. Yet it still got snubbed at the Oscars for even getting shortlisted. But we'll see what ends up winning this category. It would be kind of cool if Guardians of the Galaxy 3 won, just so a Marvel movie can finally win visual effects. There's not been one that has won visual effects in the past. And this is kind of a weak-ish year for visual effects. Like, everything is, like, good, but nothing, like, stands out as, oh my god, this needs to win. So, I won't, you know, maybe it's its time. Maybe it'll just squeak in there due to lack of competition. Production design. We have Asteroid City, Barbie, Ferrari, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Wonka, and The Zone of Interest again. So that is cool. I heard The Zone of Interest production design is great. I really want to see that movie. It's haven't had a chance to find a way to see it, honestly. Ferrari's getting some mentions. It hasn't been getting mentioned anywhere, essentially, outside of these that I've seen in any big award show. Otherwise, everything else here makes perfect sense from what I've seen. Poor Things, I haven't seen the movie, but just from the trailers alone, it deserves to be nominated for production design. Asteroid City, that's the one thing it's probably going to get nominated for, if it even does. One of those things. Barbie, obviously. Killers of the Flower Moon, I get. It's kind of like the Power of the Dog style, you know, production design. All right, let's go to original score. We have American Fiction, Barbie, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Saltburn, good. Saltburn has a cool score. Spider-Man, yes, thank you. And Wonka again. Sweeping the BAFTAs. Good lord. It's already gotten more than I expected. but it might not get nominated for any of these. That's the funny part of these long lists. This is very similar to the Oscar one. Wonka wasn't on there. I know that, and I can't remember if Saltburn was on the score shortlist for the Oscars. I want to say it wasn't, but if it is, good, because I think the score in that is really interesting. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It's John Williams, so why not? Barbie. I don't remember the Barbie score at all, but sure, good for them. Up to makeup and hair. Barbie, which didn't get in at the Oscars, is shortlisted here. Ferrari again. Golda, which I got to keep my eye on. Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Priscilla, and Wonka again. Damn it, Wonka. Look at you go. So, no Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 here either. That got snubbed at the Oscars and here for makeup, even though the first two both got nominated. It's something. Yeah, I don't, makeup, I would, from what I've seen, and I would assume it's going to go to Maestro, but who knows? BAFTA's going to BAFTA the way they vote for stuff. Up to editing, we have All of Us Strangers, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Saltburn, and the Zone of Interest again in editing. That is cool. So Saltburn and Zone of Interest getting some mentions in categories I didn't necessarily expect. That is cool. Costume design, we have Asteroid City, Barbie, Ferrari, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Saltburn, and Wonka again. Dang, Wonka. I think all it's missed so far is editing. That's hilarious. Which, if it got editing, I'd be shocked, honestly. It doesn't seem like a movie that would get editing. Costumes, I get. So, once again, costumes for Saltburn, but no production design. Odd misfire on that one. Nothing to be angry about here, I guess, off the top of my head. On to best casting, we have All of Us Strangers, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, there it is finally, How to Have Sex, I remember that getting a lot of BIFA nominations, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Saltburn, and Scrapper. Cool. Nice to see a couple independent films in there. Supporting actor, we have Anthony Hopkins in One Life, Ben Whishaw in Passages, Dominic Sessa in The Holdovers, good for him, I'm glad to see him at least in the long list, Jacob Elordi for Saltburn, Jamie Bell for All of Us Strangers, Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things, Paul Mescal for All of Us Strangers, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, and Ryan Gosling for Barbie. So, no Willem Dafoe, and no, why am I brain farting his name? From American Fiction, the guy from This Is Us. Why can't I think of his name off the top of my head? The supporting actor from May December is not here as well. That is surprising, honestly. I expect to see him. Charles Melton, there we go, from May December. Sterling K. Brown. Sterling K. Brown. Jesus, why can't I think of him? From American Fiction. I don't think American Fiction is another one that isn't going to do great at the BAFTAs. That and The Holdovers are two very American movies, clearly. But good picks on here nonetheless. Interesting to see Jacob Elordi for Saltburn. If he makes it, I guarantee that Rosamund Pike and Barry Keoghan are going to be on here too. Anthony Hopkins, that's awesome. Supporting actress, we have America Ferrera for Barbie. America Ferrera got in, but not Charles Melton. That's kind of crazy. Cara Jade Myers for Killers of the Flower Moon. Claire Foy for All of Us Strangers. Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple. Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer. Jodie Foster for Nyad. Julianne Moore for May December. She got in. Rosamund Pike for Saltburn, like I thought. Sandra Hüller for The Zone of Interest. So nice. She got in for here, and I guarantee she got in for Best Actress then, too. But we'll see. I might be wrong. Yeah, supporting actress, I don't see anything crazy missing here. Like anything that would have gotten nominated at the Oscars seems to be here. Cara Jade Myers, I'm going to check who that is from Killers of the Flower Moon, because there's not a massive supporting actress role in that movie that like stands out to me, unless she's like one of her sisters. Glad to see Divine made it. She didn't get snubbed for no reason. Everything's coming up Millhouse on that one. Lead actor, we got Andrew Scott for All of Us Strangers, Barry Keoghan, there he is, for Saltburn, Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, George McKay for Femme, another BIFA award winner / nominee there, Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction, so he got in at least, that's good. DiCaprio got in for Killers of the Flower Moon, Paul Giamatti got in for Holdovers, and Tiao Yu got in for Past Lives. Wow. Out of nowhere, there's Past Lives, so good for that. I was about to say Past Lives isn't showing up on anything, but I don't think I've passed anything where I would expect it yet. So good for him. At least he got in that long list. This category makes sense, and I can't think of anything that's missing here that I expect to get in at the Oscars. We've got Cooper, Murphy, Domingo, Wright, DiCaprio, Giamatti. Those are like the six I'm expecting to get in. So one of those six, I'm sure someone else will get in. Like Barry Keoghan, I could see easily getting into BAFTA. He won last year for Banshees of Inisherin, and that's the only thing he won last year. They like him there. Lead actress, we have Annette Bening for Naiad, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, Emma Stone for Poor Things, Fantasia Barrino for The Color Purple. So she's still in the mix. She's been getting snubbed everywhere else, but at least she's in there. Greta Lee for Past Lives. Good to see Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. Margot Robbie for Barbie. Good she got in here at least. Mia McKinney Bruce for How to Have Sex. Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall. And Vivian Oparah for Rye Lane. So you got a couple cool independent movie nominees or quasi nominees in there. The first year they did this long list method, which was only a few years ago for like 2020, I want to say, it was just batshit crazy, the people they had in here. And they had the smallest groups of people nominating, so it was almost all British Independent Movie Award nominees. That was a very interesting BAFTA year, nonetheless. Up to adapted screenplay, we have All of Us Strangers, American Fiction, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, Dumb Money, The Killer. That's cool. Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Wonka. Damn, getting in for screenplay. Good for you, Wonka. And a zone of interest. Once again, we have Barbie an original because it's not here. I assume it's going to be an original. So only at the Oscars will it be an adapted screenplay, which is funny. You think at that point they would just stick with it, but no, they got to do their own thing. Yeah, nothing missing here that I can think of. I like seeing the killer there. That is cool. Or there got it to be Margaret. Will make someone I know very happy. That was his favorite movie of the year. Dumb Money's kind of a nice surprise. Wonka, still, I can't. They love their Wonka over there, apparently. But yeah, the usuals, American Fiction, Killers, Oppenheimer, Poor Things are all here. Zone of Interest, very cool to see. Original screenplay, we have Air. There it is. It showed up somewhere. Good for Air. Anatomy of a Fall. I can never remember if that was original or adapted, but there we go. Barbie, an original, not adapted. The Holdover is good. How to Have Sex, very good for that movie. Maestro, May December, got in for screenplay. Cool for that. Still can't believe Charles Melton missed. If it's getting for supporting. Oh, Natalie Portman missed too for lead actors. Just thought of that. May December. Past Lives, Rye Lane, and Saltburn for original screenplay. So yeah, this makes sense. Like I got no complaints here really. Everything I expected is here, and a couple extra little bonus movies that are nice little surprises. On to director. Here they have a shitload of nominations. Is there 20 here? 16 for director. And it doesn't show the director's name, it just shows the movie. I'm trying to remember if it was half and half male female. They might be doing that again because just by looking at the movies, I think that might be the how it is actually. So we'll fact check that. Let me know in the comments if that's how it is. Anatomy of a Fall, All of Us Strangers, American Fiction, Barbie, The Holdovers, How to Have Sex. That's a good one for that to get in. Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, Priscilla, Rye Lane. Good for that one as well. Saltburn, Scrapper, and The Zone of Interest. So everything I expected is here, plus a few little independent ones that got in. That's very cool. No complaints, I guess. I don't know what, can't think of anything that's missing where I'm like, oh my God. So, no Wonka. Sorry, guy who directed Wonka or girl or whoever. I don't even know. Animated film. We have The Boy and the Heron, Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget, Elemental, Nimona, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Super Mario Brothers movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, and Wish. Yep, those are the animated movies that came out this year that people saw or liked. So those make sense. Documentary, we have 20 Days in Maripol, American Symphony, Beyond Utopia, The Deepest Breath, High and Low, John Galliano, Little Richard, I Am Everything, Mad About the Boy, The Noel Coward Story, The Pigeon Tunnel, still a Michael J. Fox movie, and Wham! Very interesting. Nice to see the Michael J. Fox movie making both Oscars and BAFTA shortlists. That's cool. Film not in the English language, we have 20 Days in Maripol, Anatomy of a Fall, which isn't mostly English, I guess. The Boy and the Heron, The Eight Mountains, Fallen Leaves, Past Lives, which is an American movie, but it's mostly not in English, so it's kind of funny. Society of the Snow, that was missing in visual effects, I think. There we go. That's missing in a few things here that it made at the Oscars. The Taste of Things, The Teacher's Lounge, and The Zone of Interest. So cool. Once again, Anatomy of a Fall is here. It'll probably get nominated. It'll probably win. The only thing it's not going to win is the Oscar because France is dumb and submitted another movie. I think The Taste of Things is France's movie, so the Oscars really need to change that rule to have more than one movie allowed from a country. If they deserve it, they deserve it. That's all I'm going to say. It's not the first time France specifically has done that, too. It's like the third time I can remember in the last several years where they picked the movie that wasn't going to win for some reason, and then it goes on to get nominated for other things. They do have an outstanding debut by a writer, actor, or director, or writer, producer, director, excuse me. Blue Bag Life, Bobby Wine, The People's President, Earth Mama, The End We Start From, How to Have Sex, If the Streets Were on Fire, Is There Anyone Out There, Polite Society, Rye Lane, and Scrapper. I'm going to have to guess that How to Have Sex, Rye Lane, or Scrapper is going to win that one because it actually got other nominations. Outstanding British film. Looks like there's maybe 20 in this list. We have All of Us Strangers, Chicken Run Down of the Nugget, that's funny, The Deepest Breath, The Great Escaper, How to Have Sex, Napoleon, The Old Oak, One Life, Poor Things, Rye Lane, Saltburn, Scrapper, Tetris, Wonka, and The Zone of Interest. So yes, Wonka is a British film, so that explains why it's in so many categories here. Yeah, they have 20 here, and I believe they have 10 nominees for this category, yet they only have 5 nominees for their best film category, which I think is weird. You'd think it'd be the other way around. But whatever, I'm not the BAFTAs. I'm not going to tell them what to do. So best film, the top 10 that 5 will be nominated from, like I said, are All of Us Strangers, so good for that one for making it in both. Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. So Saltburn did not get Best Film, despite getting in many other things. Holdovers did. That's awesome. No American Fiction. I didn't expect it really to get in here. All of Us Strangers sort of took that spot. Honestly, if you take out All of Us Strangers and put American Fiction in there, this is the 10 that I think are going to get nominated at the Oscars. Like, seriously. So go BAFTAs, and then, but what are the 5? We'll find out. That's what's fun about the BAFTAs. We find out what the top 5 are from them when they do their nominations. And those 5, especially with this list, unless All of the Strangers makes a surprise, and that could get into the Oscars, you never know. So as far as snubs go, the biggest one I can think of is Charles Melton for sure. Other than that, The Killer Missed in Sound. I just realized that absolutely should be in there. It made it in for screenplay, but somehow missed in sound, even for the long list. That's ridiculous. Wonka's taking the space of everything here. Oh God. Other than that, Natalie Portman, an actress. Color Purple, missing damn near everything. It got in for actress and supporting actress, and that might have been it, honestly. They don't have a song category at the BAFTAs. I forgot to mention that. Otherwise, Barbie would have even more nominations and shortlists. But it's kind of weird they don't have a song category. I don't understand why they don't, but whatever. Score is a lot better, anyways. Zone of Interest missed in score, which I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't been getting everywhere else. But the fact that it has and missed here, and it got in so many places here, is kind of surprising. There's only like 10 or 15 minutes of original score in the movie, but apparently when it is going on, it's like all score. Like, it's pretty much like the beginning and end bookends the film, from what I've heard, and it is very strong score. The sound design work in between is apparently immaculate, and that did get shortlisted. So odd they would go for one and not the other. But if they did have to pick one, I think sound makes more sense from what I've gathered. Yeah, other than those, Godzilla missed in visual effects, but like I said, that didn't surprise me at all. Saltburn missing in production design is ridiculous. I thought that was fantastic. It missed in picture, which overall I'm not like surprised. I didn't expect it to really make a top 10. But given how many mentions it got here, I did sort of expect it to be in Best Picture by the time we got up there. So that was sort of a surprise. That's about it as far as snubs go. Snubs, if you want to call them that. Pre-snubs, really. Yeah, that is the BAFTA long list. I will be doing my Screen Actors Guild Award final film nomination predictions soon. It'll probably be my next video. Other than that, I'll get out the usual stuff as I can. Got a couple Collectors Club Oscar related streams coming up this month. One is our recommendations to another, and one is the actual Collectors Club stream where we'll be going over various categories, all Oscar related recommendations to you, the audience, and in there for each other as well, things like that. So yeah, check them out if you haven't seen any of those. They're fun shows. We do them once a month, and they rotate between us members. And this is my month, and I'm doing, surprisingly, Oscars. So that's coming up. The Golden Globes are on Sunday. The Critics' Choice are the week after that, and the Emmys are the day after that, oddly enough. So lots of award show stuff to talk about coming up soon. My favorite season of the year is award season. So, on that note, once again, my name is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Shop, pop, movies.